All right, friends, welcome to another favorite nursery. This is Sky, and this is just north of Seattle. And this is my youngest son's favorite nursery because they have amazing hot chocolate. But I am stopping here on my way home from running errands because I actually need to pick up some more seed starting supplies. Essentially, every year I end up like damaging those plastic trays. I need a different solution, but I am just gonna pop in here because I want to get some things going tomorrow. I'm not finding inserts. Oh, see, these are the thinner ones. I don't know that I like these. Okay, so they're selling this as a kit. I don't know if you can see this, but there's an insert that has a perforation in it. And then the next one down is solid with no perforation. This is really amazing if you're doing like bottom watering for anything. And then it has a plastic dome for on top for germination. So it's a nice little 3-pack. It's 20 bucks, but this plastic, this feels like the standard kind of thin stuff. So I'm not going for this. These trays are 4 bucks a piece, but this is made out of a lot thicker plastic. Like it seems pretty substantial. So I'm gonna give these a go and just see how they are. Typically you're gonna buy something like this. This is, it fits essentially like a 10 by 20 is what they call it. And oftentimes they'll have these for putting in 4-inch containers. All right, so this is another thing you see commonly, and this has all of the inserts in it. So what you have here is, again, you've got a solid base, you've got your little plastic dome for germination, and then you have these super deep 6-pack trays. I go through so many of these and I feel just terrible about it. I do have a soil blocking kit that I think I'm gonna bust out when I really start going, but I just need to get some things started, so it's like low-hanging fruit for me right now. So I'm on the hunt right now for the inserts. I like these trays. I think they're gonna do well. I know I have plastic domes at home. And so at this point, I just need the inserts. So let's see what we can find. Okay, this is really interesting. This little thin guy, this actually would be really great if you're doing soil blocking and you're using the teeny tiny soil blocker. Because look at that, that's super shallow. So that's very cool. Oh my gosh, they were right above. So when you're doing seed starting, you actually have a ton of different options. You can use pellets, you can use a seed starting mix, you can soil block, I mean, the options are endless. When I do this with little kids, I actually really like just using these little pop-up guys because kids love them. You just pour water on them and just whoop, they just grow like magic. So this is a really fun option for little kids, just because I think they like seeing it like blow up with all the water. So this one is super fun, and I've had a good time with this with the littles. But for me, I'm just gonna use some standard, just good old classics. I use a solid bottom tray. I have clear domes already at home, and then I'm buying these inserts. This is 72 count, and it will fill a tray. So I'm doing 4 trays of 72 starts. Now, when you're starting your seeds, if you're not doing soil blocking, which is a completely different mixture, you are going to be using a seed starting mix. This is sterile. It's not going to have weed seeds in it. There's 2 that I commonly see. This pink bag, which is Gardener and Bloom, and then we have this blue bag, which is a Spoma. I'm kind of interested. I've never done a side-by-side comparison, so maybe I need to do that. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of each. Let me know if you want a review, and I can throw that up on the channel for you. Okay, I think that's all we need. We're off to the races. Okay, friends, as you know, I love my job, and I do my job on the weekends. Like, I love what I do. And I'm always really excited when I see something fantastic. Okay, behind me is the most incredible selection. Usually you don't get this many different varieties of sweet peas. Look at this. This is freaking amazing. Okay, this is Langley Fine Gardens, grown on Vashon. Look at all of these gorgeous varieties. Okay, this Prince of Orange, this is so sweet. Oh my gosh, these are so good. Oh, navy. Oh, I love this. Mrs. Collier, this is another really great variety. Love this. Oh my gosh, you know how much I love a moody flower. Lord Nelson. But you have to say it like that, I'm pretty sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, King's Hyacinth. I have grown this. This is more of like a cool tone pink. It's very pretty. Highly recommend. Oh, interesting. Okay, Flora Norton. That's really pretty. This one over here, though, Irahan. This one is one that Florette recommended on her list. Okay. I'm being really good. I'm not going to get sucked in. Okay, off we go. Every time I'm at a nursery, I love to see what people are playing with in their containers, just because different eyes have different combinations, and the person who does the containers at Sky, she's awesome. Okay, but look at this. Look at this. Apparently, we both got the memo about wallflower this year. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm just loving that she's doing these deep purples, the oranges, a little bit of yellow. It's so bright and happy. I'm loving it. And she's using an Dianthus as a centerpiece. This is a plant that honestly, it doesn't look like much right now, but the shape of this bloom, when I see it blooming, I will absolutely record it because it is one of my favorite blooms. Sensational. Hello, my friends. Good morning. It is currently raining here in Seattle, and so I'm going to be doing a little indoor activity. I am super far behind starting seeds for my cut flower garden, so that is what I'm going to be working on today. And I thought it might be a good opportunity. I get a lot of seed starting questions, so I'm just going to flip you around. Okay, my friends, so here is my setup. I'm literally at the kitchen table and I've got a couple of things. These are, first of all, my trays. These are solid bottom, and this is what I'm going to be putting my inserts into. I also have some seeds back there that I'll go over in a minute. And then kind of shifting over this way, I have first and foremost my tray. Now, if you are an urban gardener, you might not have a greenhouse or an outdoor space where you can do seed starting. So when I'm working at the kitchen table, this is really, really great because I will mix my seed starting mixture in here, fill my trays, and it just cuts down on a lot of my disaster indoors. I also have a little assortment of previously loved plant tags. This one is literally, when you get these from the store, just flip them over. Free plant tag. I am running a little bit low here, and so I also have some blue tape, and I'll be using this to label the outside of my trays. I also have two seed starting mixes. So the first one is the Espoma Organic Seed Starter. I'm just going to use this one, see how this goes. I don't believe I've used this in quite some time. My closest nursery stocks the Gardener in Bloom, so I use this very frequently, and this one is a great mix. I've also used the Gardener Supply seed starting mix. That is also a good one. The last thing I have here is my watering can. You may be wondering why. Well, if you have started seeds, you know that the mixture has no moisture in it. And so in order to get your seeds off to the right start, you really do need to pre-moisten your seed starting mix. And so I will walk you through that process. We're going to start with the Espoma first. I'm just going to go ahead and open this entire bag into my tray here because I know I'm starting a lot of seeds today and I'm totally going to use it all. Okay, next, I'm going to go ahead and add my water. I typically add warm water just because it's nicer. Okay, and so what you're going to notice is if you're new to seed starting, it's going to take a minute Do you see how it's just floating here on top of the water? It's going to take a minute for all of this to get incorporated. And basically, you just want to like move your hands through, kind of scrunch it, almost like you're playing with Play-Doh. Okay, and this, I don't know if you can see this, but this is now becoming something more that we can play with. So when you squish it like that, you should have just a little bit of water come out and it should hold its shape. So definitely need more. Okay, need more water. Okay, so this is about where I want it. So you can hear a little bit of the moisture in there. When you squeeze it, it's kind of forming a nice little clump here. You can see your finger indentations. This is about where we want it to be. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this and shift it all to one side. And bring in my tray. Okay, so we have our little 9 cells and we have our solid bottom tray. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying these in and we're off to the races. Okay, so it's at this point that we're going to go ahead, I'm going to scoot this a little bit closer and we're going to start filling. Okay, so now that we have our tray filled with soil, I actually am going to move this onto the table and give it a little bit of a tap to reset it. And essentially what this does is it's going to settle any cells. So I can see like right here, I have these cells that have settled. These ones have settled. These ones have settled. This one and this one have settled. So I'm going to plop this back, move it back in, and do a final little top off. And then I'm going to move on to filling our next tray. Okay, so before I scoop up the rest of this seed starting mix, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a closer look. This has actually been a pretty good little mix here. I've only found a couple of larger pieces and it's not quite enough to fill 2.5 trays. Of course, maybe I'm packing it in more generously than you might. But in case anyone is wondering, I've filled almost 2.5 72 cell count trays using 1 bag of the espoma, which is 8 dry quarts. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this and I'm going to mix in the second bag of the Gardener in Bloom so I can finish off my seed starting for the day. And then also my little watering can here, this is maybe, I don't know, maybe like a half gallon. And I used 1.5 of these to hydrate that mixture. Okay, straight out of the gate, this one actually feels more like, I don't know, like more dirt-like and less peat mossy, if that makes any sense, like less peaty. Interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay, I kind of wonder if this is it. Okay, so the espoma, the ingredients here are sphagnum peat moss, perlite, limestone to adjust pH, and yucca extract. Interesting. They also have a lot of mycorrhizal fungi in here. This one, on the other hand, it's also peat moss, perlite, and then they also include pumice and washed sand. I actually think I'm feeling the washed sand texture in here, which is super interesting. This doesn't have any added mycorrhizal or anything like that, so I'm going to be curious to see how these shake out. Okay, I was just thinking while I was mixing, and the only other observation that I had when I purchased these is that the Gardener Bloom, the bag actually felt heavier. And I kind of wondered if it was like it had some moisture in it or what have you. I honestly think it's the washed sand. Okay, 2 cents. Let's go over what I'm going to be starting today. And essentially what I have done is I have pre-sorted these into the flats that I will be starting. So this first flat, I have, basically it's all Snapdragons. Okay, so I'm going to be starting Potomac Ivory, and I'm almost out, so I ordered a second. Potomac Lavender, I have Costa Silver, Potomac Royal, Potomac Red, Madam Butterfly. This one is a little bit different. It has a little bit more of a frilly petal to it. Costa Apricot. I loved this one, so I have also repurchased. And Potomac Orange. Really loved this one as well. And that's it. So this is actually going to be flats number 1 and 2, and I'm doing 2 of the 9-inch cells for these guys. Okay. Next, we have flat number 3. I'm going to be starting, and this is Operation Use All of My Old Seed. So I may have lower germination rate, but I kind of don't care. We're just going to roll the dice, use the seed, see what happens, right? It's all an experiment. This is flat number 3. I'm going to do 2 flats of this carnation. It's Dianthus, and I'm not even going to pronounce that. Chabaud de La France. I don't know. Anyways, really pretty light pink. I'm going to give that a go. Next, I have 2 different statuses. I have Sunset Mix and I have Pastel Mix, so I'm going to start those. And then I also have some Scabiosa. So this one is the Starflower that's more like a seed pod. Really enjoy that. I have Fama White and I have Fata Morgana, so I'm doing all of those. And then flat number 4. So I'm doing 2 of each. So I really love stock. It's one of my favorite flowers. And so I love the scent of it, the whole 9. So I am going to start 2 of the 9 cells of each variety. And then since they are a single flowering item, I'll probably direct sow another round in about 2 weeks. So I have Avalanche Supreme, Vintage Brown. I really, really love this. This is a beautiful, beautiful one. And so I grabbed another packet. Malmaison Pink. Never grown it. We're going to see. Apricot. I absolutely love this one. In fact, I'm almost out. So I picked up more iron apricot. And then moving on to flat number 5, I have more stock. So this one is Buttercream. I have Strawflower Apricot Mix. Strawflower Copper Red. I have some Yarrow Summer Pastels. And then I have a little selection of Rudbeckia. Rudbeckia Sahara. Chimney Mix. I'm very, very excited about this one. And Cherry Brandy. So there you have it. We're going to do a little marathon seed starting session today. And so I'm probably just going to, I don't know, hang out, start some seed, see what happens. Okay, my friends, first up on our list is the Snapdragons. These ones are surface sown. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle them lightly on the surface. This is a little bit of an older seed, so I'm going to plant a few seeds per cell. And then at the very end, instead of watering, I'll probably just come back through and mist them in. Okay. And also, sometimes seed starting takes a while, so I'm going to listen to the podcast. Okay, friends, so there we have it. This was a marathon seed starting mission today. I actually do feel really good. I burned through a ton of older seed, which makes me feel very good. I went a little heavy on the sowing of those seeds because I'm just not sure how the germination is. So threw in a little bit more than anticipated. And then also probably what you noticed is some of these seeds I covered and some I did not. So what I'll probably do is I will drop a full list of the seeds that I've started down in the description, and maybe I'll put a little asterisk or somehow mark the ones that need light to germinate. All right, last thing on my list here is I'm going to go ahead and put some domes on the top, the clear domes that I showed you earlier. Put these under my grow lights, but before I do that, I'll give them a little mist, and they're off to the races. I hope you have a wonderful day. Say hello to your garden for me.